minutes went by quick. Music down a little bit. Yeah, it should be fine. All right, and we're gonna show level name when level loads in. So, how are we gonna do that? Yeah, I think I know what I want to do here. So in the game scene, we're gonna add a something to the HUD, I think. So like a UI element, and then we'll just like toggle whether it's visible or not. Let's see how this goes. So we want to add like a label. Level name label. And are we gonna just like do something like this? No, we need to do like a some kind of container. Maybe like a center container. Sure. And then this is going to be level name place folder. And this is going to be anchors full rect. There we go. Okay. And then we'll tweak the label here. Somehow, some way. Don't I have a theme? I do have a theme. There we go. And then theme overrides. We'll do font size. Okay. Be a little smaller than that. Okay. So how are we gonna do this? I guess we're gonna use a tween, right? We're gonna use a tween. We're gonna set the text. We're going to make that not visible. We are going to probably add a export on level manager. Yeah, so this will be like label. Yep. And then what we can do is we can just grab level name label. There we go. So now that handle gets passed in to level manager. And then what do I want to do here? I don't necessarily want to always. I think. Let's see. I think this logic here should have a function of its own, and we're gonna call it func. I think reset is interesting, but that's not what I'm after right now. I want a function that represents the idea of progressing to the next level. Progress to next level. Yeah, there you go. All right, and then do I mean, I guess that's just moving. We can do this. Progress to next level. It's not exactly what I had in mind. I was thinking of just this logic right here, but this kind of all together feels like a unit as well. So we'll do that. when we do this, what we want to do is we want to unload level. We want to actually think about this for a second. Pause that thought. I want to do one more thing. So I'm thinking about a timer, right? So we have a couple problems we want to solve next. One is show level name when the level loads in. We also want to wait a second or two before loading the next level. So we can solve maybe both of those things at the same time. Is there... Let's see, create tween. Creates a new tween that binds it to this node. It's equivalent of doing that. The tween will start automatically in the next process frame, physics frame. Okay, so T equals that. What are the methods on T? Oh, right, sorry. Bar T. Call, cancel, chain, connect. Hit signal finished. Okay, so what we can do is we can, instead of creating a timer and like trying to deal with all that, maybe if let's see. Okay, so tween.finish, emitted when a tween has finished all tweening. Never emitted when the tween is set to infinite looping. Okay, so t.set loops. What's the default? Sets the number, default is 0. Okay, cool. So we're going to on level load tween finished. Want to do this. We also want to emit the respawn ball, right? So we don't want the ball to go to be restarted until the level is loaded, and we don't want that to happen until the tween is finished. So then we say, there we go, do that. And then we want to actually we want to tween something. So let's see, how do I do that? Maybe Copilot can remind me. Tween to fade in and out the label. Okay, and then I guess what I want to do is when the level is loaded, we also want to say label dot. Ooh, do I want to do another tween? So No, I think I will just say, is it show? No, hide. Label.show. So we are modulating the label to be transparent according to this comment. I think this is right. That's our GBA, so alpha of 0. Modulate is the color applied to this canvas item. Okay, so if we modulate the label and then show it, and then we the duration final value. Okay, so we make it opaque over a period of half a second. Then once the tween is finished, we call this function, which loads in the new level. We hide the label. So we're return it back to the state it was in, and we respawn the ball. So maybe this does both the things that we wanted to do. Next, I guess we're gonna find out. Well, that was fast. Half a second is too fast. So let's our level load tween duration. Sure, and I guess we'll export it. We might as well make it configurable via properties. We'll start with 1 second. Go. This comment is not super helpful. Yeah. So if I restart, oh no, if I in-game, new game. Oops. Oh, in-game, new game. I'm still on level 2. So how do we get there, right? So is that something that's in our main script that's happening, right? So we say on game menu return main menu. We do things. We need to call reset game. Oh, so I mean that shouldn't matter anyway because we have to call start. We run start game to start the game, and that calls reset game. So reset game is not doing what we need because.
Say Happy New Year's before I get too blackout or brown out or one of the browns. I mean out. Whatever. Love you, kid.
It needs to. Like something in level manager also needs to happen here, which means we need to emit a signal. Do we just call game? Interesting. Maybe game over should be emitted inside of here. Right, so game over will result in on game over, which unloads and reloads the. Okay, yeah, I think that's reasonable. Let's just relaunch. All right. So a couple things to test. We want to see what the transition is from this level to the next. Oh yeah, we didn't set the label. We didn't actually set the label to be the text of the thing. And then I also wanted to test if I restart. That starts us back at level 1. Okay, which is not what we want, I think. Or is it? I think the restart button there should just basically cost you a life and restart the current level. So, how do we do that? And while I'm thinking about it, we need to say label.text text equals, I mean, that's, let's see, we want to do levels, current level index dot name, is it name? Yeah. Okay. So that fixes that issue. And then for the game restart button, what does that do? Restart game. We want to do something more like restart level, which is fun. So we're gonna implement a method here. Which will not reset the game. We don't want to do that. Rather, we want to do what? We want to decrement the player lives. So do we would just want to call player lost life? Basically, yeah, level 2. Oh, that was abrupt. Hold on, let's test this. If I restart, oh yeah, I lose a life. Restart, game over. So why was that so abrupt when we transitioned from level 1 to level 2? Why did that feel so abrupt? Oh, because so we unloaded the level, but the ball was still present and moving. And then after the tween was over, the ball jumped to a different location, and then the level loaded in. I think at least if the ball didn't jump from one place to the other, it would not feel as abrupt. So how do we fix that? Where does that logic live? Yeah, in here, in level manager. We could just hook the ball to... I don't know about that. Because right now we just have one ball, and it's just like in the scene, right? It's just like an entity that exists there. We may want to have like multiple balls on screen and have that be something that's like varied and loaded in. And if we do that, then that's going to be awkward. So we listen to the signal respawn ball to reset position. I could listen to another signal from Game Manager that hides the ball. And basically stops it, just like, What's reset position do? Sets the position, sets the velocity, makes it visible. One aspect of the current behavior is we never remove the ball from the scene. It's never removed, so it never has to be re-added. If we get into a point where we do have multiple balls moving around, we will eventually, like between levels, have to like clean that up and reset. I guess that's not a problem I have to solve right now, maybe I do want to have a signal from the game manager called well, disable ball is the effect. What is the signal? Alternatively, we could do this a different way. If we I could pause the game. That might actually be better if I just pause the game. How do I do that? That's something that's happening in the main script right now, right? We call the game menu, and it implements pausing and unpausing. I don't think there's a lot to it, right? It's just like get tree.pause equals true. So I could do that. I think there's probably something I need to set on the tween to control whether or not it cares about process something. The process mode. Let's see, is that? Argument 1 should be tween process mode. Okay. Not process mode dot. No. Pause mode. There we go. Tween dot pause mode dot. I don't know which one is which. If scene tree is paused, tween will also pause, so we don't want that. Process. The tween will process regardless of whether the scene tree is paused. Okay, that's what we're after. And then what we want to do is when this is called, when the tween is done, we unpause the game. And so the ball won't continue bouncing around or moving. I guess it's still going to be visible on the screen. I don't know. Let's see how this looks. At the end of the day, that's what we have to do. We just have to see, how does it behave? What does it feel like? Is it okay? And the ball freezes. I kind of like it. Oops. And then we don't see we don't have like a end of game behavior or anything set up, so it just resumes. Oh, also I can't hit escape here to resume. Might be a bug. Level 2. So what do we think? Should the ball not be visible while we're let's restart, not restart, in game, new game. Does this work? Yeah. Okay, cool. That's a mess. Do we actually see a good like fade out? Did I not implement the like inertia thing so that if I'm moving the paddle, it skews the ball. Let's make the. Oh right, I can do that here. Level manager. Let's make it longer. Run. Also, where is the background? I've just noticed. Where is the background? Okay, well, that's nice. So on main, you have game menu. Let's see. Is this okay? So we have a background here. What if I just copy this and I'll go to game and I'll paste. Drag this up to the top. Let's see if this works. Layout does not work. Maybe inside of HUD. But then the HUD isn't a HUD. Can we change the ordering? The other thing is that now the labels are not visible. Is this a did I select the theme? Did I set the project default theme for that matter when I copied in stuff? Nope. Let's see. Theme, new theme.tres. Font color. Let's see. Project, reload current project. Is that what that said it needed to do in order to apply the theme change? Let's find out. Godot. Alright, cool. Totally legible now. Yeah, let's change the font outline color. Let's do. Maybe this should actually be lighter, and the outline should be the darker. Contrast. I hate it. That's not good. Okay, what does this look like? Game. Well, that's a little bit more interesting to look at anyway. It doesn't seem like the okay, there we go. We got a little bit of side movement there. Level 2. Just go back to level 1. Cool. That's something. All right. So show level name and level loads in, check. Wait a second or two. Well, 5 apparently. before loading in next level. Done. Game over screen when you run out of lives. So, how is this gonna work? Am I going to just make... I might just make a fully new scene. And load it in, and then unload it when we're done. Yeah, potentially. Okay, so let's go here. I do want to grab the background. We're gonna want that. Make a new scene. It's gonna be a UI scene. Yeah, it's just gonna be a UI scene. And we're gonna paste our background. Checks out. And then we're gonna have a sensor container, which is going to be layout mode anchors full rect, and then we're gonna add. So this is gonna be like, what is this gonna be? So you're gonna have a label saying game over, your score was, and then some buttons. So we could probably just have like a vertical box, like a V-box container. And then we're gonna have some labels. Another label. And button. We'll come back and worry about like, oh, you got a high score, what's your initials, all that stuff after. That'll be something where we probably will have to have some logic that checks with the game manager. But yeah, that's fine. It's gonna be game over label. There we go. I can remember where the function keys are. This is going to be a score label, and this is going to be the main menu button. Yeah. Game over. If I go to control and I go to theme and I go to theme. Okay, so I can't do like theme overrides on the parent and have it apply to, no, okay. Well, it was worth a shot. I guess what I should do is like use label settings. That's a thing, right? I could do that. Or I could just use theme overrides. Game over. And I could change like font color. Beautiful. And then we'll need to put the score in. And hook up the button. Title caps, or yeah, title caps is fine. Back to main. Oh, I typed the word that I was saying, not the thing I meant to type. Menu. Yeah. Great. Okay, so I could literally attach a script to the score label. let's do this. I'm gonna create a folder for this stuff. It's gonna be a game over folder. And so we're gonna save this to I guess I'll also call this game over. I could call it like main, or I could have left it control, whatever. It's fine. But yeah, how do I want to do this? So when the scene is loaded, I guess let's just do this. I'm gonna add a script. Let's call it that, sure. And what we want to do is when this is loaded, we want to do some things. Okay. And rather than doing what I've done in the past, which is to like navigate like center container VBox to find the things, what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna add some things like this. Oh, actually, yeah, I want main menu button is what we have right now. Cool. So on ready, I want to say game over label dot text equals, or sorry, not game over label. This would be score label. Yeah, and then connect. Oh, right, we need to implement this and not do any of that. We want to do something. How do we do this? So main.gd. We have this function on game menu return main menu. Could provide a signal from game manager. Right, so from here, we don't have a good way to get at these things. But we do have a way to call game manager. Get at game manager from everywhere because it's auto load. So I could yeah, this doesn't even have a ready function. So we can add that. We can have that where it will, well, we could provide a signal here. And this script could listen for that signal, and then we either provide a function or directly emit the signal from here. Alternatively, this scene provides a signal. There's something to be said for that, right? Because so what we're going to do is this game over scene is going to be who is going to instantiate that scene and add it to the tree? Is it game manager? potentially, like in game over, or in player one, or we might have a separate like player one version, or we I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But yeah, we could definitely get the tree and like load the scene. Yeah. So if so currently we're resetting this, but that's not necessary. Maybe it is actually. Maybe it is. So what does game over do? What does game over need to do? Let's sketch this out. So pause the game. Have a game over signal. Who's listening to the game over signal? Level manager is. It's invoking this to reset the level. Okay. So, but yeah, we emit that inside of reset game anyway. So pause the game is get tree pause equals true. Emit the game over signal. Well, reset the game state for the next game, and it's obsessed with emitting the signal, but of course we're already doing that inside of reset game. Load the game over screen. This is like, how do we get a scene? It's something like preload. Yep. So what does preload do? Remind me. Returns a resource from the file system located at param path. During runtime, the resource is loaded when the script is being parsed. This function effectively acts as a reference to that resource. Note that this function requires param path to be a constant string. If you want to load a resource from a dynamic variable path, use load. Yeah, preload is a keyword, not a function. So we say something like var game over screen. I use the word screen, but also it's a scene. Dot instantiate. Might as well do this, so we get types. And then yeah, get tree, get root to add child. So this is going to add the game over scene to the root of the tree, the node tree. And then we want to say that there is a signal. Return to main menu. And that signal is emitted when the button is clicked. And when we do that, then we delete ourselves. The game over control root. Right? So that does that. And we say game over scene.connect. No. Dot return main menu.connect. Okay, on return to main menu. how do we get from here to there? Right, ultimately, the thing that knows the things to be able to do the action are in this script on the main node outside of the game manager. The game over signal is emitted when reset game is called. That doesn't seem right. Yeah, that does not seem right. Let's take a look at this. In level manager, connect game over to this, and this unloads the level, unloads level 0. Okay, I think this might be just an artifact of how the... Right, because level manager, when it starts, it automatically loads the first level. So it's not like we need to load it again. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to remove this emit. So now... yeah. Now we want to emit the game over signal. In both of these places. And then I think what I want to do is I'm going to take this bit of code and we're going to move this to main.gd, right? So now what we're going to be able to do is in main.gd, we can say, hey, on ready. Yeah, cute. We don't want to do all that. We want to say game manager dot game over dot connect to on game manager game over. Yeah, we'll implement that. That's fine. And we already have the code for that, right? So we want to load the game over screen, and then when the game over scene signal to return to main menu is triggered, then I think we already have a function here. On game menu, return main menu, which pauses the game, which is unnecessary because it'll already be paused, but that's not harmful. Hides the game and shows the menu. So I think that's fine. I think that works. Rather than hard coding the path, game over scene, we can parameterize this. Now this, let's see, nomenclature. So when we instantiate a packed scene, we get a node. Right, so this will be the game over node. Yeah. And then what we do is, oh yeah, we need to assign score label. Yep, main menu button. There. Got it. And then in the game, in main, there we go. Game over scene, we quick load. Game over. All right. So, do we think this will work? What have I missed? Okay, so we listen to the signal when the game game starts from the game manager. The game manager only emits the game over signal on these conditions. When we get that, this function is called, which instantiates our scene. Are we relying? No. Okay. So right now we are pausing the game. Do we want to instead not own pausing the game there, but instead do it here? It's really interesting. Why did I do this way? So game menu.pause. Oh, I see. This is more than pausing the game. It shows the pause menu. That has a its own semantics around it that's separate from simply pausing the game. Load the thing, connect the thing up. Okay, so maybe this works. Let's find out. Let's start a game and lose all of our lives. 2, 3, game over. Okay. It's interesting, right? So, oh yeah, let's look at the remote view. So this is what we have going on here. Also, I didn't rename control here, so that's a little confusing. So we're adding this game over node. Why isn't the background here covering everything else though? Oh, I have a Z index on this. Okay, cool. So some things to fix. Let's go back to game over. This background is going to have a ordering of 0. And then this is going to be called game over. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I should test the rest of the functionality. Oh yeah, we didn't hook up. No, we hooked up the score. Let's try earning a score, and then we'll hit game over. See if we can get to the second level. Level 2. Alright, let's die. Game over. Okay, so it doesn't have the score. That's wrong. Also, this should probably be centered and bigger. Return to main menu does not work. That's too bad. There's some errors. Load level. Can't change state. Can't change the state while flushing queries. Use call deferred or set deferred to change monitoring state instead. Huh. So load level. Okay, so this is when the ball entered the dead zone, and then it called player lost life, which called game over, which called our signal handler, which called load level. Okay. When we tried to add child, is there like a deferred is there other? Nope. Okay. Can't change the state while flushing queries. Use call deferred or set deferred. So call deferred. Takes a method, calls a param method on the object during idle time. It calls the method. We do add child? Level instance? No. Let's see, add child. So it should be like self. Add child. Should be string name. What? Method is string name. Okay, so add child is the method. Okay. I'm still not clear why the back to main menu didn't work. Let's go to this script. Main menu button.connect is press the real. Hold on. Node signals pressed is a thing. But this is the wrong way of doing it, right? You want to do that way? Okay. Copilot just giving me more and more wrong things. Like player score is probably not. Oh, maybe it is. Player score? Oh, right. But if we game over, then we reset the game. So what we need to do is, boy, game over connect on game over. I guess. Maybe let's do this. I could do things where I like pass stuff around, but instead of doing that, let's make another thing called var player last score. And when we reset game, player last score equals player score. So we save it. Right, and then in game over, we use player last score. All right, well, somehow it's been another hour, so I'm gonna take a break here. We're gonna come back in just a few minutes, and we'll continue knocking out these tasks. So, be right back.